webinar. Thank you for joining us. Today's topic is going to be referrals. As usual, I am going to mute the participants to reduce the background noise. If you do have any questions, we will open it up for questions at the end, so just jot them down as we're going along, and we'll give you an opportunity to ask at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone now.
All participants are muted, but all participants are muted and may not unmute themselves.
Okay, we're going to get started now with Blanche Brand from Weidel Real Estate Client Services to talk about referrals.
Hi, I'm Blanche Brand. I'm the Director of Client Services at Weidel Real Estate. And I hope you can all see the webinar because I have no idea if you can see it or not. And so I'm relatively new in this position. And what we're trying to do is create business development opportunities for our agents. I am available to you basically 24/7, as many of you know. My phone number is not on there, but you can always reach me by calling our corporate offices, 609-737-1522, extension 205. My phone will frequently route to our wonderful Marissa Cofino. And if you can't reach me, just leave a message with her and she will try to track me down. So today I'm going to talk about client services and the role of client services as it relates to referrals, and the benefit of referrals to both you as an agent, and to how it's additive to your incremental revenue. So there are many types of referrals. There are, oh, this is wrong. Incoming referrals, outgoing referrals, relocation referrals, agent-to-agent referrals, which can also be co-broker referrals. And I don't know, let me see, let me go through this quickly. So there are incoming referrals, and referral agreements are between companies. They are not between sales associates. So just want to clear that up right here and now. Sales associates are not authorized to sign referral agreements on behalf of our company. So that in the event if somebody contacts you and says, hey, you want to do a referral, unfortunately, you're not actually allowed to sign that. You're not allowed to sign a relationship with another agency. There's only one circumstance in which you can do that. And we're going to be having a much broader and more expansive conversation about the whole role of referrals and relocation on Friday. So I hope you show up for that. If you do receive a referral from the client services area, and for some reason it doesn't work out, you get too busy, something happens, and you're not able to fulfill the referral, just let us know and we will re-refer that. I will find another agent to handle that referral on your behalf. Certainly you can make a suggestion to us like, hey, I'd love Larry to handle this for me, but we would have to redirect that. There's a lot that goes on actually in the background with referrals in terms of the support, the communication, and the documentation that goes back and forth from client services back to the referring agency, to the referring agent. And we need to keep them in the loop as often as we can regarding the status of the referral that you're working on. So that's why you basically can't re-refer. The types of incoming referrals are, a buyer, or it could be a renter. It's someone who's coming here for a job interview. Sometimes it involves doing an area tour. Area tours are a copious amount of work. We are building some tools to assist our agents to fulfill the requirements of an area tour. It means doing a deep dive and a lot of research prior about the community that a client would be interested in. It includes doing research not only on properties that they might be interested in, but on the school districts, on recreational areas or opportunities, houses of worship, supermarkets, parking, access to transportation, and they might have a litany of other things that they're interested in that we have to include on an area tour. There are some times when it is required to do a broker's market analysis, also a very deep dive into what is sometimes may be considered a market value analysis, an MVA, but much more detailed and unfortunately rarely paid for. And it takes an enormous amount of work. I'm not going to get into that today. We also get leads from the website unless you're not already getting those leads directly from your own enhanced profiles on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, etc. People sometimes are not interested in taking on renters because of the low commission structure. I will urge you to consider that renters do become buyers, and so there might be some reason to consider, creating that relationship early on to cement a better relationship further down the road. Referrals are not necessarily always just executive relocation, and I'll get into that later. I wanted to get into the fee structure of, what is a referral fee so that you had an idea about that. On what? No, did I go?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No.
So, what is a referral fee? So, referral fee. I mean, I know that it's stupid to read a slide, but I'm just going to read it because it's really important language. And it's legal payment of a negotiated portion of a real estate broker's real estate commission paid to another licensed broker. So basically, it's a broker-to-broker fee. So you can never get paid directly as an agent. It's the same thing with any kind of real estate agency transaction. So again, these are relationships from broker to broker. So if we take an incoming referral, there's a difference on the payment structure between an incoming referral and an outgoing referral. An incoming referral is when someone contacts Weidel, another broker, and says, or another agency or another relocation company or whatever, and says, hi, can you help us with this client? So let's say that the transaction is a $400,000 transaction, which results in a 3% commission. 40% is paid to the referring agency. That's $4,800. That comes right off the top. And then we share that. What's the remnants of that? It's at a 50% pro-comp split to the Weidel agent. So out of a $400,000 transaction at 3%, the Weidel agent would be paid $3,600. Subject to PSOF. An outgoing referral, which is when you are clever enough to take advantage of that, and you know someone who is seeking to buy or sell a home outside of the Weidel footprint. And again, let's say that's a $400,000 transaction with a 3% commission. 30% referral fee would be paid to Weidel. That's $3,600. We then have to pay 20% to Leading RE. That's $720. So $3,600 minus $720 results in $2,880 divided by 2 is $1,440 to the referring agent. So it's not a bad split when you think that you did all that for making a phone call to client services, and we were able to set you up for that to happen. I think the important part about incoming referrals is that although you're not being compensated obviously as well as you would if you went out and hunted and gathered your own client and customer, what you do get is you get additional market presence, you get additional potential customer acquisitions, and obviously you get additional income. But nothing can replace that, having that sign up, the opportunity for additional open houses, and obviously the additional referrals that will come from providing great service to that customer. So what is an outgoing referral? And I get this question all the time. And this is a great season to be considering making those outgoing referrals because, we're all going to, and I'm sure you guys are all going, I'm going to be sitting home, I'm sure, but you're going to be invited to all these parties and you're going to be meeting all these people and connecting with all these people, and their potential connections with their families and friends who live outside of the Weidel footprint. So an outgoing referral is to any buyer, seller, or rental customer that has real estate needs outside of the Weidel footprint, anywhere, because you're part of this vast network through leading real estate companies of the world, throughout the nation, and throughout the world. I mean, we just had an agent the other day who made this amazingly lucrative referral for someone who was living in Hong Kong who was relocating to Dublin, and and just made a phone call to us here at Weidel, and we were able to connect her client to a great realtor in Dublin, and she's being compensated for that. So it's really you have no idea what an amazing network you're a part of, and so, we have a policy here at Weidel that's, that all sales associates are supposed to be making 4 outgoing referrals a year. And boy, if that happened, we'd have a lot of realtors would have a lot of our sales associates would have a lot of extra money in their pocket. According to leading real estate companies of the world, the average hourly wage for an outgoing referral is $700 an hour. And I don't think that's bad income. So, so typically and again, I'm going to go in greater depth on this on Friday. But so if you make an outgoing referral, and so let's say that your cousin Harry wants to buy a house in Aiken, South Carolina for his, because he loves to golf and he wants a nice climate. And so we recommend a great agency and a great agent in Aiken, South Carolina. You can be as involved in that transaction and helping, Uncle Harry make that that decision as much as you want. So that's how it works. Okay. Go on. Why place an outgoing referral? The more you give, the more you receive. Real estate, professional real estate associates today are defined by their connections to other realtors in the nation and globally. So I guess I said some of this before, but it's part of who we are as a profession is our ability to make connections. And it's what attracts us to this profession is our ability to meet people and introduce people and provide all levels of service. And I think that's what our customers have come to expect from us as real estate professionals. So to place an outgoing referral, to actually get it done and get compensated for it is, again, connect, get the basic information, whether you're on a supermarket line or at a party or on Facebook. Look for the key words about people in transition, whether it's a marriage, a birth, a death, a divorce, that would indicate that someone is going through one of those transitions that usually result in the requirement for a real estate transaction. And then when you do, you ask them, hey, can I connect you? I'm a professional real estate agent. Can I connect you with someone in my network so that you can be assured that you're gonna actually meet another professional real estate agent. So get the information as to what they're looking for, when they're looking to relocate, how much they want to spend, what type of place are they looking for. The same questions that you always ask any of your clients or customers. Get their contact information, fill out ask them if it's okay, would they like to be referred to a professional real estate agent, and then fill out the form on the hub. I'm going to show you the form on the hub in a second. But the other thing that I like to remind people, and sometimes this comes in handy, is every real estate professional knows that every agency uses, whether you call it floor time or phone time or whatever. So that means that Uncle Harry, who is going to mosey along down to Aiken, South Carolina, he can walk into a real estate agency and he might get that person who's on floor time that day, who might be the most experienced professional agent in the entire Aiken region or not. So having a referral can really help somebody out to make sure that they're getting the best-in-class real estate agent that that person deserves. And they can only get that if if you can make that referral for them. So I'm going to show you, Amanda's logging on here. We're going to show you in a second the outgoing referral form. Hold on, there she goes. Which is right on the hub. So you sign into the hub, and then you go to contracts and forms. You there?
Mm-hmm.
Contracts and forms. Then you scroll down to relocation, referrals. There it goes. First one is outgoing referral form. Okay. Okay, there you go. So again, I tried to update this form. I wanted it to be completely transparent about the fee structure, etc. Okay, and you fill in your form, you fill in your name, your manager's name, your office admin, because we just want to make sure that everybody's notified in the process. The client address, the desired address, all this information that we were asking you to get right from the get-go. In the notes, the location of interest, the price, the type of house, the type of property, etc. And then you just hit submit. And then I will sign it and send it back to you and all the parties concerned so that everybody has a copy for their records, okay? So that would be the form that you would fill out on the hub, and so that's an outgoing referral. Let me go back to the slide presentation here.
Oh, slide presentation.
Sorry. Sorry. Then I wanted to talk to you a little bit about relocation. Right here. I'm right here.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. And I just wanted that full view. Sorry if you can do that.
I'm trying to figure out. I apologize.
Okay. Well, never mind. So relocation is a whole different ball of wax. And it's calls for a whole bevy of skill sets. You do need to be certified. I'm going to talk a lot more about that on Friday. Minimally by Leading RE. There are a whole bunch of other certifications that agents can go out and get. There is something called the GRP. There's a CRP. Some of the relocation companies have their own certifications that they ask agents to get. Brookfield does, Grable does, etc. Anyway, for the sake of explaining it, a relocation is when a corporation hires a relocation company to assist their employees with relocating. That could be that they're buying a house or selling a house, which is the only part that we engage in. The relocation company also provides a bevy of other services on behalf of that employee and that employer, but we do not engage in that. It is a document-intensive process. There are enormous confidentiality forms that have to be not only filled out and adhered to. There are great privacy concerns, and these are people who are going through a great deal of stress. Relocations are very, very difficult. And so they are assigned to agents who have experience in relocation, who are certified based on their capabilities, their availability, their compatibility, their past performance with relocation, and also on the number of outgoing referrals that they've generated. And it seems to go hand in hand. People who are experienced in relocation also understand the value of referrals, it seems, and it is a significant percentage of their overall business that they're doing, that they're both generating outgoing referrals and they're able to balance their successful real estate career with referrals as well. So relocation referral fees, corporate transfers are also hefty. The relocation company takes 40% right off the top. That is the minimum. Those fees are going up and up and up. We just had an increase from one of the larger relocation firms, Cardis. They are now at 42. There is rumor that they're going up to 45 in 2017. Some of the other firms are also charging transaction fees on top of the relocation percentage. So, but the great news is about doing relocation work is that once you do one successfully, you now have worked for an employee for a company who is working locally. And so your name gets around pretty quickly. You're also at an executive level, typically, at least not necessarily always at the C level, at the highest of the corporation, but at least you're at a mid-level manager and above. So the prices of those homes, either on the buy or the sell side, are decent, and the follow-on business is really solid. So that's why there are certain agents who are experienced in relocation and go for those certifications. So co-broker referrals are something that are not that common. Actually, they're very uncommon. I'm going to talk more about this on Friday, but I wanted to mention this. On the hub, there is, I'm going to wind this up and talk about we're going to talk about our offices now. We have something called an agent-to-agent referral in our offices, and we also have, very rarely do we have something called a co-broker referral. So I'm going to talk about the most difficult thing to explain, which is the co-broker referral or shared transaction. So a co-broker or shared transaction is when a Weidel sales associate works with another agency within their state and participates in the transaction with that other agency. Participate being the most important part of that transaction and that agreement. In that case, if you are co-listing with another agency within the same state, then you can use the agent-to-agent referral form, even though it's not within the Weidel agency. So, let me read this very carefully. On occasion, a sales associate may refer a client to another broker in a shared transaction agreement, provided the following criteria apply. The sales associate will participate in assisting the client with the transaction. The sales associate secures a minimum of 30% as the total client referral fee. The transaction must be within the state that the sales associate is licensed. The compensation is considered commission income subject to the sales associate's pro-comp split. Weidel Relocation is not part of the transaction. The sales associate should have the co-broker agreement signed by the manager of his or her Weidel office and co-broker office as well. So for example, let's say that I'm an agent in our Hamilton office and I have a property that I need to co-list with an agency in Union County. So I call a brokerage firm or an agency up in Union County. I say, look, I don't have the MLS up there. I'm not a party to that. I need to co-broke this with you. Weidel has no problem with that. Client Services has no problem with that. Here's the deal. You're going to co-list it with the ABC agency in Union County. Fine. You have to get a minimum of 30% and you have to participate. That means that you're actually showing that house, right? You haven't just referred it and let the other agency do the whole bit, right? That's the deal. If you have any questions, give me a call. Office to office referrals, inter-office, inside your office or whatever, right? On referrals in-house generated from, I'm sorry, that's misspelled, one sales associate to another sales associate, right? That happens all the time. So the originating sales associate, you can determine what is the split that you want, right? The default fee is usually 25%. So, let's say that Amanda Stem and I are real estate agents in Ewing, right? In the Ewing office. And I say to Amanda, there's this house that I just the seller called me and I just know there's going to be a conflict, blah blah blah. I think you'd be better off handling this situation. Could you handle it for me? Whatever. And it's my ex-husband's house or something like that. And so I say, for 25%, would you give me 25% if I give you this listing? And so that's absolutely fine. For us to do that. Or I could say, hey, instead of 25%, I want $2,500. I can come up with any split I want. Or I could be, like, hey, Amanda, I'm giving this to you and I want $7,000, out of your commission. And she's going to be like, no, there's absolutely not, Blanche. You're a greedy person and I'm not going to give that to you. So, but here's the caution. If you don't, and we're going to get to the form in a second, if you don't fill out that form, and that form is not in SkySlope, and that form does not accompany your commission disbursement form, there is and I always, it's so bad to resort to this, but in the policies and procedures book, okay, it is right there. Like if that's not carved in stone and signed off by your manager or whatever, you're down to 15%. That's it. But here's the other thing that you have to know about agent-to-agent office referrals. And that is that all the referral fees are calculated at index commission rates of 50%. And that's because unless you stipulate that you want a certain dollar amount, right, instead of doing it on a commission split fee, percentage fee, is that it minimizes and it protects all of us from knowing anybody else's commission split. So that's why we do it at 50% across the board. So I can't find out that, someone's at 55% when I'm at 50%, for example. So that's the reason that it's been assigned that percentage fee. Okay. So, can we just click on that?
Let's give it a try.
Yeah, it goes to right there. So I just clicked on, I keep on trying to do that. Can you make that bigger?
I think so.
I don't know how you do that. No, here, that's it. Nope, I did it wrong. Okay, so if you go to the hub, there's, that's the outgoing referral. That's not the right form.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's not the agent to agent, sorry.
Let me pull it up.
No, it was the wrong form. On the hub, there's the agent to agent active form. Okay. So if you go to the hub, again, under contracts and forms, Relo referral, and you go to the agent to agent referral form, you will see, it says right at the top, Do not use this form to confirm agreements with Weidel Referral Corp agents. We're going to talk about that on Friday, right? And it says that this form can also be used for co-broker shared transaction agreements with minimum 30% referral fee with outside broker within your state when you are participating in the transaction. Okay, and then if you scroll down, if you can, we can do that here, right? It's the same stuff. You get the referring agent, you know the receiving agent, and you get their and here's the cool thing, and you get their manager's email. So they'll be emailed a copy of this form, so that if you're doing a shared transaction, for example, with another broker, they'll have a copy of it too. Again, you want everybody to be disclosed. And then here, you see where it says fee. So the default fee is 25%. That's for agent to agent within Weidel. The default fee for a shared transaction must be 30%. Okay? So, and then, you can also, in your comments section, right, non-default fee, you can write in whatever you want. You can say, I want $7,000, I want $40,000, whatever you guys agree to, as long as you agree. And then you just submit it. And then again, we will make sure that it is circulated to everybody back and forth until we get everybody's signature. So anyway, I urge you to come Friday. I have 2.5 hours. There is so much to talk about. There is so much I'd love to engage you on regarding, there's a ton of money to be made in referrals. There's a ton of stuff I'd love to share with you about relocation, and I'd love to see all